So expectedly, a demand for a right of reply from the ruling APC party after that fiery appearance of this program last week by the PDP's governorship candidate in Kogi State, Senator Melaye. Senator Melaye had accused the ruling APC party of surgically and systematically capturing both the Electoral Commission, INEC, and the judiciary, and called for the opposition to unite and boycott all elections in Nigeria going forward until the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, and all the top staff at the commission resign. Well, the APC aren't having it, and they demanded their right of reply on Arise Prime Time, the program on which Senator Melaye made his allegations. And so, in the best interest of balanced journalism, we are granting that request for a rebuttal. But before that, let's hear some of what Senator Melaye had to say on this program.
The only way to cure this mess is for the dissolution of INEC. Today, as I speak to you, non-card-carrying members of INEC have been appointed as commissioners in INEC. That will not happen in any civilized
You mean
line.
non-card-carrying members of a political party?
They are of APC.
Right, okay.
They are non-card-carrying members of APC, and they have been appointed as commissioners.
Right.
And these are the people that will recruit ad hoc staff during elections, who will now carry out ad hoc INEC activities at the pool. Then automatically the thing will only get worse. INEC have become SIEC, State Independent Electoral Commissioners, where governors appoint their aides, appoint their party members, and write results before even elections are conducted.
Senator Melaye speaking on this program last week. And now for their right of reply, I'm joined in the studio by Jesutega Onokpasa, who is a member of the recently constituted APC Publicity Committee and who was a constituent part of the now dissolved APC Presidential Campaign Council, and who is also a lawyer. Thank you very much indeed for joining.
Thanks for having me, Charles.
So basically, Senator Melaye is accusing the APC of capturing the judiciary and INEC and bending them to its advantage, and that he doesn't trust the courts, so he won't go to court to challenge the outcome of the Kogi election. What's your response to that? You got your right of reply.
Senator Melaye does not want to go to court because he knows he did not win election. He couldn't have won election, and he would get naughty by going to court. Actually, I would say that Senator Melaye, and this is the really sad part of it all, you know, I do not think he ever believed from the get-go that he had any electoral chance, any hope on the horizon of becoming governor of Kogi State.
So why would he run if he doesn't believe?
Because he wanted to cash out, because he wanted to make money. He collected money from his party, collected money from donors, kept the money, all of it in his pocket.
Probably, yeah, but you don't have any evidence of that, do you?
He did not pay his agents. He sat in his house. He wouldn't even go out to vote for himself. He's a joker and a clown. That's who Senator Melaye is. And he's there disrespecting, insulting, casting aspersion on the judiciary of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He never had any hope of winning. I mean, I know. I've been to Senator Melaye's house, and I was disgusted. Nobody would have voted for him. Maybe if
when
we go there,
disgusted, what do you mean?
It's like the house of a pimp, of some character like Hush Puppy or who is Senator Charles? He's his very good friend, the Hush Puppy that was convicted.
But that should not. I mean, that should not affect whether he's running for office or not. Whether he's got purple chairs or blue chairs.
These people are jokers. He cornered the ticket of their party in Kogi State. He wouldn't even go out to vote for himself. His PDP colleague, Senator Anyanwu, cornered the ticket of their party in Imo. He refused to resign as national secretary of their party. What does that tell you, my brother? Other than that, he is not sure of winning in Imo State. And then he wants a job to return to. These guys are just jokers. What now? This sort of comical approach to politics, it is pretty sad. It is totally shameful, but maybe it is understandable until these jokers start casting aspersion on the judiciary. I don't.
Right.
That is the part that really
Well,
riles
let me come in there. I mean, I know you're a lawyer, so you see it from a sort of almost personal perspective. But it's not just the opposition who are claiming to have lost faith in the judiciary. The APC senator representing Osun Central, Ajibola Bashiru, who is now the national secretary of the APC, was also reported as saying when he lost his re-election bid that he won't challenge the result in court, that the election was not free and fair, but that there were too many fault lines in the electoral justice system. He's APC, not opposition.
No. He was distinguished Senator Bashiru was referring to the problem of gathering evidence in a situation where the other side, you understand me, has perfected rigging and untowardness to the extent that it might become. He was talking about.
Well, I think you're even giving it a different interpretation because it's in black and white what he said.
No, it's not. He's my very good friend.
Yeah,
it's
it
like a
doesn't really
brother
matter.
to me.
The
Yes.
point is that I'm referring to what he is reported
he
as
never
having
he
said.
never cast aspersion at the judiciary. He never expressed lack of confidence in the judiciary. He was talking about his own case, and he has reiterated the point.
Obviously, he's talking about it.
In fact,
Melaye is talking about his own
in
case.
fact, in Senator Bashiru's case, he has implicit confidence in the judiciary, and he said it with his own mouth that it is not worth it. If that is what the umpire has decided, if it happens to coincide with what the people wanted, so what?
But he said the election was not free and fair.
Yes,
These were
because
his
it was
words.
not.
And
It
that
was
there
not
were
because
too many fault lines
Yes.
in the electoral justice system.
No, yes, but when a lawyer talks like that,
Are you talking
it's
about
not,
the interpretation?
it might just be a question of evidence gathering.
Right. Anyway, look, let's move on from there because some would suggest that rather than defending it, is it not the responsibility of the ruling APC to draw attention to anything that would undermine potentially real or actual or imagined or whatever, but to look into anything that could potentially undermine the strength of Nigeria's democracy, especially when members of the judiciary themselves have drawn attention to the problem, including the likes of the retiring Supreme Court Justice, Judge Datija.
Yeah. Now, Charles, let me tell you something about this open season, as I would describe it, declared on the judiciary by Labour and PDP. That is, let's just keep sniping at the judiciary.
I just mentioned Justice Datija. He's not a member of the APC or
yes,
the PDP.
but
He's a member of the Supreme Court.
He did not even cast, Justice Datija did not even cast aspersion at the judiciary.
Well, he did.
He did not, Charles. He was complaining about perception. He did not accuse the judiciary of being corrupt.
No.
He said that people perceive the judiciary as corrupt.
No, but he referred to specific instances that he thought were undermining the image of the judiciary.
I think that, with respect to his lordship, I think that was an exaggeration on his part, with respect to him. And then with respect to his lordship, he kept on and on, piling on about complaints and perceptions and so on. He didn't really offer that many
Okay, let's move on from there because we haven't got that much time. What's your take? I know you just heard the Labour Party spokesman there. You think it's funny, do you?
It was absolutely,
you just heard the Labour Party spokesman.
Comical.
What's your take on this alleged undelivered judgment in the Supreme Court appeal of the Labour Party's P2B against the victory of President Tinubu?
If anyone had told me that it is Leonard Olisa Agbakoba that would have responded to him, I wouldn't have believed. But I think Olisa Agbakoba has already sufficiently addressed the issue. What you could do, Charles, maybe you should invite Peter Obi's lawyer, a real lawyer who understands law, to come and speak on this issue. Because Mr. Tanko Yunusa, he does not know what he's talking about. And that is what Olisa himself was pointing out in his text message to you right now.
But Olisa said he was a bit confused, to be fair, that he wasn't sure what the guy was actually referring.
Because Tanko Yunusa did not know what he was talking about.
Yeah, but Olisa...
You abide principle is abide principle.
Right.
These cases, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, are one and the same. They are not substantially different. Now, if Yunusa Tanko feels that they are different, too bad.
Yeah, but Olisa was advising them to apply to the Supreme Court to clarify whether the abide principle was used in the labor.
That would have been a better thing for them to do than this gaslighting. What these guys are doing, Charles, is this. They have lost election. They lost election. They know they lost election. They have this band of obedience that they've turned into a personality cult around them. They don't want to lose their clientele. And then they keep gaslighting. That's what you will see this. I'm saying this.
But why
this
isn't the Supreme Court releasing
they will keep saying this for the next 4 years.
Judgment?
I wouldn't know about that. It's not a question of releasing. I don't even know whether they applied because I don't believe.
They said they applied twice.
That's what they said. These guys are liars. Pathological liars.
But let me ask you this, because we're running out of time. All of this jars with the image President Tinubu and his government, including yourself, a member of the APC, want to present to the world of a country that's creating the right modernizing conditions for growth and international investment. Because with this kind of legal mess, I mean, it's not the first one that we've seen, not just the Supreme Court, we've seen it in Kano, we've seen it in other places. It looks as if Nigeria's institutions are bringing this country into disrepute. And they're making reference to a sacred institution like the judiciary. I'm not alleging that the judiciary is doing anything. I'm saying that it creates, because you talked about perception, that it creates the perception that if somebody puts their money in this country, they can't be sure of,
absolutely not. You see, and that's the problem with these gaslighters and these exaggerations, making mountains out of molehills. How many cases, Charles, have been concluded today in Nigeria? Just today. Then count how many cases have been concluded this year. How many cases disclosed issues of genuine, not contrived, controversy? You understand me? All these cases you are mentioning, what is this so-called case in Kano? How many cases in a year? In which jurisdiction in the world do clerical errors not occur? There is none. Even in North Korea, there is a provision for correcting a clerical error on a judgment.
It's the nature of the clerical error.
Yes, and this was obviously a clerical, because it's a question. What's a judgment, Charles? It's foundation and conclusion. If the foundation is A and the conclusion happens to be B, then it's clear that's a clerical error. If you have a 60, 70 page judgment and all the foundation hitherto laid points to a certain direction, and then you find 1-2 lines at the very bottom of the judgment that are incongruous with the foundation hitherto laid, well, that's obviously an error in any jurisdiction in this world. These people are just making mountains out of molehills. You didn't win election, you complain. You went to print 160,000 ballot boxes.
They were declared the winners by INEC. You're saying they didn't win the election and they
no, that's
I'm
talking of
the Labour Party.
Of Labour Party. In the NNPP, on the NNPP side, you went to print 160,000 fake ballot papers. You stuffed them in a ballot box. The court caught you red-handed. These are fake ballots. And the court discounted those ballots, and you lose the election, and you begin to complain about a clerical error.
But INEC accepted that.
What?
INEC accepted the ballots.
The ballots are fake legally.
So it means that
they are illegal.
You're saying that, are you suggesting that INEC was in cahoots with the NNP?
That is for INEC to answer. For instance, even I would even go as far as to say that some of the actions of INEC, though in terms of conducting elections, they have been pretty much above board. But certain things that have occurred do not necessarily help help issues. Yeah, but they are not blamable. We all have our own departments to take care of. Let everybody just do his job properly.
Let me just make a final point. The former chairman of the Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, who's a well-known professor of law, described that Supreme Court's undelivered judgment in the Labour Party case as a supreme scandal and the height of judicial malefaction. But you obviously don't agree with him.
Of course
in spite
not.
Of the fact
in fact, with respect, Professor Odinkalu doesn't know what he's talking about. What is malefaction there? The court has, just as Olisa pointed out, it has inherent right to apply that abide principle. As far as the court was concerned, there are no fundamental differences between both cases. I have read this judgment. It is pari passu with the judgment I would have read in your case. Go home. Go and wait for 4 years.
Well, actually, the problem is that we're out of time, because I would have cited the differences in the two cases.
There are differences. Charles, there are no cases in the first place.
The issue of certificate forgery was not in the Labour Party's appeal, and the forfeiture of funds, which was alleged to be
there was no certificate forgery.
Trafficking.
Can I forge my certificate?
That was in the Labour Party's appeal, was not in the PDP's. But anyway,
what was that?
Let's not. You must come back and let's talk about this some other time. It's always fun to talk with you. Jesutega Onokpasa is a member of the recently constituted APC Publicity Committee, and he was a constituent part of the now dissolved APC Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me.